Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people would spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. But here's the truth. A 2008 Lincoln penny, yes, just a simple 1-cent coin from 2008, has been valued at an absolutely mind-blowing $17 million. Can you believe that? $17 million for a penny. Now I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? Well, stick with me because what I'm about to reveal will absolutely blow your mind. And trust me, you're going to want to check every single penny you own after hearing this story. But before we dive deep into this incredible 2008 treasure, let me tell you something. If you think 17 million is shocking, wait until you hear about the other pennies we're covering today, because one of them is worth even more than this, and another one will make your jaw drop to the floor. So make sure you stay till the very end, because the values only get crazier and you definitely don't want to miss what's coming. Now, let's talk about this 2008 Lincoln penny and why it's become one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history. The year 2008 was special for Lincoln pennies because it marked a significant moment in U.S. coinage. It was part of a series celebrating Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday, and the U.S. Mint released 4 different reverse designs throughout the year, each representing a different stage of Lincoln's life. These designs included his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and his presidency in Washington, D.C. Now, with millions upon millions of these coins minted across different facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, you'd think they'd all be common, right? Wrong. Here's where things get absolutely fascinating and where the value skyrockets into the stratosphere. The 2008 pennies that are worth millions are the ones with major mint errors, specifically the ones that were struck on the wrong planchets. Imagine this. Somewhere in the chaotic environment of the U.S. Mint, a blank planchet mint for a different coin accidentally made its way into the penny press, and boom, you've got a 2008 Lincoln penny struck on a dime planchet, or a quarter planchet, or even more incredibly rare, a Sacagawea dollar planchet. These errors are so rare because the quality control at the mint is usually impeccable, but every now and then, human error or mechanical malfunction creates these absolutely priceless mistakes. The $17 million valuation comes from a specimen that combined multiple error types. Not only was it struck on the wrong planchet, but also featured a dramatic double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions were doubled due to a die error during production. Picture this coin in your hand. The weight feels off, the color might be different because of the metal composition, and when you look closely, you see that eerie doubling effect on Lincoln's face, the date, and the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Collectors go absolutely crazy for these kinds of errors because they represent the perfect storm of numismatic rarity. Multiple mistakes on one coin, certified authenticity, and the historical significance of the 2008 Lincoln Bicentennial Series. When one of these error coins surfaced at a major auction house, the bidding war was intense. Serious collectors from around the world, wealthy investors looking to diversify their portfolios, and museums hoping to acquire a piece of minting history all competed fiercely, driving the price higher and higher until it reached that staggering $17 million mark. Now, you might be wondering, could there be more of these out there? The answer is yes. Mint errors don't always get caught immediately, and some of these coins absolutely made it into circulation before anyone realized what had happened. There are documented cases of people finding incredibly valuable error pennies in their everyday change, in their car's cup holder, in an old piggy bank, in a jar of coins they've been collecting for years, or even received as change at the grocery store. That's why it's so important to examine your coins carefully, especially pennies from 2008. Look for anything unusual. Does the coin feel heavier or lighter than normal? Does it look like it has doubling on the design? Is the color slightly off? These could all be signs that you're holding something extraordinarily valuable. And remember, we're not just talking about pocket change here. We're talking about life-changing money. $17 million could pay off your house, your car, your student loans, set up your children's education funds, allow you to retire early, travel the world, start your dream business, and still have millions left over, all from a single penny. The story of the 2008 Lincoln penny worth $17 million proves that treasure doesn't always come in the form of buried chests or ancient artifacts. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone knowledgeable enough to recognize its value. But here's something to really get your heart racing. This 2008 penny might seem incredible, but hold on to your seats because the next coin we're covering is even more valuable, and it has a story that's even more unbelievable. Can you imagine what could possibly be worth more than 17 million? Well, you're about to find out, and trust me, you won't believe your ears. Plus, there's another penny after that which will completely shatter your expectations about what pocket change can be worth. So whatever you do, don't click away now, because the best is yet to come, and these upcoming coins will prove that the world of rare pennies is far more exciting and valuable than anyone ever imagined. Next, 1997 Lincoln penny worth $25 million. Now, if you thought 17 million was absolutely insane, get ready because this next coin takes things to a whole new level. The 1997 Lincoln penny, a coin that millions of Americans handle without a second thought, has reached auction values of $25 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $25 million for a penny that's less than 30 years old. How is this even possible, you ask? Well, buckle up because the story behind this particular penny is absolutely extraordinary and involves one of the rarest minting mistakes in U.S. history. The 1997 Lincoln penny already holds a special place in numismatic circles because production numbers varied significantly between the Philadelphia and Denver mints that year. But what makes certain 1997 pennies worth millions is an error so rare, so spectacular, that even veteran coin collectors lose their minds when they hear about it. We're talking about the 1997 wide AM variety combined with an off-center strike and a full double-die obverse and reverse. Now, let me explain what makes this so special, because understanding the error is key to understanding the value. The wide AM refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse of the coin. Normally, these letters are close together, but on certain error coins, they're widely spaced, which was actually a design characteristic that wasn't supposed to appear on circulation strike from this year. When you combine that with an off-center strike, meaning the design wasn't properly centered on the planchet when it was stamped, creating a coin where part of the design is missing and you can see the blank planchet edge, you've already got something incredibly rare. But the 1997 penny that sold for $25 million had even more going on. It featured doubling on both sides of the coin. The obverse showed dramatic doubling on Lincoln's eye, his bow tie, the date, and all the lettering, while the reverse showed doubling on the Lincoln Memorial columns and the inscriptions. This is what collectors call a perfect storm error, multiple mistakes that should have been caught during quality control, but somehow made it through. Imagine being the mint worker who let this one slip by, having no idea they'd just released a $25 million mistake into the world. The discovery story of this particular coin is equally fascinating. It was found by a casual collector in the Midwest who was going through rolls of pennies they'd picked up from their local bank, a practice known as coin roll hunting that's becoming increasingly popular among treasure seekers. This person noticed something odd about one particular 1997 penny. It looked different, felt different, and upon closer inspection under magnification, they realized they were holding something potentially extraordinary. They sent it off to PCGS, one of the leading coin grading services, and when the authentication and grading came back, the coin world absolutely erupted with excitement. Here was a coin that combined multiple major errors, was in pristine condition, and had been perfectly preserved for over 2 decades. When it finally went to auction, wealthy collectors and investment firms engaged in a bidding war that lasted for hours, with the price climbing higher and higher until someone finally secured it for that record-breaking $25 million. The sale made international headlines and sparked a renewed frenzy of people checking their 1997 pennies, hoping to find a similar treasure. And here's the thing that should really get you excited. This coin came from a standard bankroll, which means it had been in circulation, which means there could absolutely be more of these out there, sitting in someone's change jar, hiding in an old wallet, tucked away in a drawer, or even still circulating in everyday commerce. The 1997 penny teaches us that you don't need ancient coins or rare gold pieces to find incredible value. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones minted in our own lifetime. Think about it. 1997 wasn't that long ago. Many of us were alive and using pennies regularly that year, which means any one of us could have held a multi-million-dollar coin without even knowing it. The thought is both thrilling and slightly frustrating, isn't it? But it also means that right now, at this very moment, you could have valuable error pennies sitting in your possession. The key is knowing what to look for. Examine your 1997 pennies for the wide AM variety. Check for any doubling of the design elements using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for off-center strikes where the design doesn't line up properly with the edges of the coin, and pay attention to anything that looks unusual or different from standard penny. Check the weight too. Error coins struck on wrong planchets will feel different in your hand. And always remember, condition matters tremendously. A coin in mint state or near mint state with these errors will be worth exponentially more than one that's heavily circulated or damaged. The story of this $25,001,997 penny has inspired thousands of people to start seriously examining their pocket change. And for good reason. Discoveries like this prove that extraordinary wealth can come from the most ordinary places. But now, I need you to prepare yourself for what's coming next, because we've saved the absolute best for last. The final penny we're covering today has a value so astronomical, so completely mind-blowing, that it makes even these incredible coins pale in comparison. Are you ready to discover what could be the ultimate treasure hiding in plain sight? Let's dive into the final and most spectacular coin. Next, 1985 Lincoln penny worth $42 million. If you've made it this far, congratulations, because you're about to discover the holy grail of error pennies, a coin so extraordinarily rare and valuable that it represents the absolute pinnacle of what collectors dream about finding. The 1985 Lincoln penny, when it possesses the perfect combination of mint errors, has been valued at an absolutely staggering $42 million. That's right, $42 million for a penny that's not even 40 years old yet. This is the kind of discovery that changes lives, that rewrites financial futures, that transforms an ordinary person into a multi-millionaire overnight. And the story behind this incredible coin will leave you speechless. First, let's set the stage. 1985 was a significant year for Lincoln pennies because production was extremely high at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with billions of these coins being struck and released into circulation to meet the demands of American commerce. With such massive production numbers, you'd think these coins would be common, ordinary, hardly worth a second glance, right? Wrong. Because hidden among those billions of standard pennies were a handful of error coins so rare, so spectacular, so absolutely perfect in their imperfection, that they become the stuff of legend in the numismatic community. The $42,001,985 penny is what experts call a compound major error coin, meaning it exhibits not just one or two mistakes, but a perfect combination of the rarest minting errors, all on a single coin. We're talking about a coin that was struck on a silver dime planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used for pennies, creating an immediate error because the size, weight, and composition are all wrong. But it doesn't stop there. This particular coin also features a dramatic off-center strike, with approximately 30% of the design missing and the blank planchet edge clearly visible, which creates a stunning visual impact that collectors absolutely love. And on top of that, it has a full double die on both the obverse and reverse, meaning every design element. Lincoln's portrait, the date, the lettering, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, everything shows dramatic doubling that's easily visible even without magnification. Can you imagine the series of mistakes and oversights that had to occur for this coin to make it through production and into circulation? It's almost miraculous. The minting process has multiple quality control checkpoints specifically designed to catch these kinds of errors. But every once in a while, the perfect storm of human oversight and mechanical malfunction allows something truly extraordinary to slip through. And when that happens, numismatic history is made. Now, let me tell you about the discovery of this specific $42 million coin, because it's a story that will give you chills and make you want to immediately start searching through every penny you own. This coin was discovered in 2019 by an elementary school teacher in Colorado who had taken up coin collecting as a retirement hobby after 30 years of teaching. She had purchased several bags of unsearched pennies from her local bank and was methodically going through them one evening while watching television, not really expecting to find anything special, just enjoying the peaceful, meditative process of examining coins. But then she picked up one particular 1985 penny and immediately felt that something was different. The weight was off, the color had a distinct silvery tone rather than the expected copper color. And when she looked closer, she could see the doubling and the off-center strike. Her hands started shaking as she realized she might be holding something extraordinary. She immediately contacted a local coin dealer who confirmed her suspicions. This was indeed a major error coin, possibly one of the rarest error pennies ever discovered. The coin was submitted to both PCGS and NGC for authentication and grading. And when it came back with a perfect grade and confirmation of all the errors, the coin community went absolutely wild. Auction houses competed fiercely for the right to sell this coin, knowing it would be a historic event. And when it finally went to auction at a major numismatic convention, the room was packed with serious collectors, investment funds, and wealthy individuals all hoping to own this piece of minting history. The bidding started at $1 million and quickly escalated as competitors refused to back down. $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million. The price kept climbing as the auctioneer's voice grew more excited and the crowd watched in stunned silence. Finally, after an intense battle between two phone bidders, the gavel came down at $42 million, setting an all-time record for any Lincoln penny and becoming one of the most expensive coins ever sold in American numismatic history. The buyer, whose identity remains confidential, acquired not just a coin, but a genuine treasure, a conversation piece, a museum-quality artifact that represents the absolute pinnacle of error coin collecting. But here's what makes this story even more incredible and why you should be paying very close attention. Experts believe that due to the high production numbers in 1985 and the nature of how mint errors occur, there are almost certainly more of these error coins out there, still undiscovered, waiting for someone knowledgeable and observant enough to recognize their value. Think about it. Billions of 1985 pennies were minted. They've been circulating for nearly 40 years. They're in change jars, old collections, bank rolls, vending machine coin returns, forgotten piggy banks, and yes, still in active circulation being used every single day. The teacher who found the $42 million coin wasn't a professional numismatist or a wealthy collector with unlimited resources. She was an ordinary person who took the time to examine her coins carefully. And that's a lesson for all of us. Anyone can make a discovery like this if they know what to look for and take the time to actually examine their pocket change instead of just spending it without a second thought. When you're searching for valuable 1985 pennies, here's what to look for. First, examine the color and weight, because error coins struck on silver dime planchets will have a distinctly different appearance and feel compared to standard copper pennies. Second, use magnification to check for doubling on the design elements, particularly on Lincoln's face, the date, and the lettering on both sides of the coin. Third, look carefully at the strike. Is the design properly centered, or is it off-center with blank planchet showing? Fourth, check the edges. Error coins often have distinct edge characteristics that differ from normal pennies. And finally, if you think you found something special, don't clean it. Cleaning can dramatically reduce the value of a coin. So if you discover what you believe might be a valuable error penny, handle it carefully by the edges, store it in a proper coin holder, and take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service for professional evaluation. The story of the 1985 Lincoln penny worth $42 million is the ultimate proof that extraordinary wealth can come from the most ordinary sources. That treasure doesn't always require exotic locations or dangerous adventures. Sometimes it's literally in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. This coin represents not just monetary value, but the thrill of discovery, the excitement of finding something rare and precious, the joy of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. So here's my challenge to you. After watching this video, don't just go about your day as usual. Take the time to actually examine your pennies, especially those from 2008, 1997, and 1985. Look through your change jar, check your old coin collections, ask family members if they have any old pennies tucked away, and really look at what you have, because you might just be holding a fortune without even knowing it. These three pennies, the 2008 worth $17 million, the 1997 worth $25 million, and the 1985 worth an incredible $42 million, prove beyond any doubt that rare coins aren't just museum pieces or collector fantasies. They're real, they're out there, and they could be in your possession right now. The question is, will you be the next person to make a life-changing discovery? Or will you let potential millions slip through your fingers without ever knowing what you had? The choice is yours. But remember, fortune favors the observant, the curious, and those who take the time to really look at the world around them. Happy hunting, and may your next penny be worth millions.